O Uganda, may God uphold thee. We lay our future in thy hands. United free for liberty, together we'll always stand. E Mungu twaomba uilinde Jumuiya Afrika Mashariki, tuwezeshe kuishi kwa amani, tudumize na malengo yetu. Jumuiya yetu sote tuilinde, tuajibike, tuimarike, umoja wetu induzo yetu, indumu jumuiya yetu. Thank you so much. You're welcome.
My name is James Kasigwa, and I am the Executive Director, Uganda National Bureau of Standards. I have come with a team of competent engineers. Is Engineer Daniel Atugonza, who heads the engineering section of the certification department, Daniel, and Engineer John Caesar Nasawa heads marketing department, marketing section in the Mbarara regional office, engineer. And then I think now, Sylvia, you qualify to be an engineer. Chiravo Sylvia, who heads our PR at Uganda National Bureau of Standards, and a few of our other colleagues down there. Today, we've come to speak and actually give clarification on the videos that have been making rounds on the social media about underweight cement. And they are building mistrust in some of our brands and affecting trade and investment and affecting business. And we decided as UNBs to come and clarify the matter and also give the general public trust in the products that we continue to consume that are certified by the Uganda National Bureau of Standards. But before I make the official statement on the cement issues, you will allow me highlight the journey UNBS has moved and how we've been trying to realign ourselves to be responsive to the needs of our economy and our general public and for what we stand for as our mandate. Uganda National Bureau of Standards was established in 1989, and we are under the Ministry of Trade, Industry and Cooperatives, and we administer two acts: the Uganda National Bureau's Act of 1989 and the Weights and Measures Act. That said, the mandate of the Bureau is that it's under four pillars, very critical pillars for any country. The first pillar is that we develop, promote, and enforce standards for public health and safety. We ensure fair trade in the entire country, and we protect consumers to the extent of value for money and fitness for purpose for the products and services that you and me and everybody buys and consumes. Today, to that particular aspect, we are talking about cement. So we ensure that every coin you pay for cement, first of all, that the cement is fit for purpose, but also there is value for the money that you're paying for what the product is, in this particular case, cement. Then the last pillar of our mandate is to ensure that our local enterprises and therefore products are competitive both within our local market, but also in the wider regional market and beyond, especially today when globalization is real. What does that mean? It means if you are producing cement, the cement that is produced in China actually will compete with the cement that you produce here locally. So as a bureau, we are charged with ensuring that the local products actually are competitive at the global level. How is that so? It's because standards are not just local, they are international. A standard for cement here is the same standard as cement manufactured in China, Europe, and if you follow and work with UNBS, that makes the products we produce locally competitive both on the local market, but also in the wider regional and global markets. Now, UNBS, when we were established, we operated as police. What happened is we were protecting Ugandans from the substandard or unfair or unsafe products that were deemed to be coming from the outside countries, products manufactured by outside countries. We were actually largely net importers, including in the region. If you recall, we imported a lot of products from our neighbors, Kenya, but currently, that trade imbalance is changing and tilting. And this is in line with our Vision 2040 and the NDP 3 aspirations, NDP 4. You will recall and remember that under NDP 4, we are saying that we want to grow the economy tenfold. From last year, about 50 billion US dollars, and by 2040, we want to be a $500 billion economy. Currently, today where we are, a few days ago, I saw a report saying that now we are at 70 billion US dollars. We are a 70 billion US dollar economy. How do we want to do this, to grow this economy? We want to export more, do more import substitution, and create more industries. Actually, the challenge is to all Ugandans to actually participate in creating industries. And this, if you go by the Japanese approach, these are what we call cottage industries, where every home makes a product and puts it on the market. Here we are calling them micro enterprises. Now, in that aspiration of national development, and in trying for UNBS to align with that aspiration, at UNBS now we are saying we are in the business of growing quality enterprises. So if I can give you a few statistics, about 7 years ago, that's about in the financial year 2018-19, UNBS certified 201 enterprises. That's about 7 or so years ago. And we've been at it, and just last financial year, which ended this June, records showed that we had certified about 2,500 SMEs, small and micro enterprises. And the year previous, 24-25, we had certified 1,700. So in a space of 1 year, we were able as UNBS to certify, or the growth of the certification of enterprises was at 47%. So, and that's why we are saying that UNBS, we are in the business of growing enterprises. And that is the only way we are going to realize the tenfold growth strategy. Equally, that we are speaking about standards today, I want to note that we have also improved immensely, because also about 7 or so years, we undertook a study, and we found that about 54% of our products on our market were meeting the standards that we required. Just at the close of last financial year, our laboratory report shows that has improved, and currently 81% of the products that we tested in the financial year met the standards for public safety and quality requirements. And so that shows significant progress in trying to meet our mandate of protecting Ugandans against substandard goods. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to emphasize that issues of quality standards cannot be done by just one agency of government or one individual. It is going to be a concerted effort of all Ugandans, all state and non-state actors, to begin a journey of building what at the UNBS we want to build the national quality culture, where the consumers demand and check for quality, but also the producers are intentional on making and meeting quality and safety standards. So we will be going to all the churches, the mosques, to speak about quality and how quality is critical for all economic development. You will believe with me, those who have been following industrial development, global, what we are calling developed economies actually thrive on quality. If you get a product from Europe, call it German, London or England, you will actually know that it is quality. And until, as a country, we begin having trust and building trust in our products, then our products will not only be competitive on our local markets, but they will also be competitive in the export markets. And when I say a local market today, I'm not looking at the borders of Uganda. When you bring your product and we certify it, it will access the 8 East African countries duty-free, quota-free. That is what we are calling the local market. So I just wanted to paint the picture and the critical importance of your bureau, the Bureau of Standards, but again, call upon you, especially the fourth estate, the media. We need to promote our local industries. I'll give a highlight. Having said that, just in the recent past, they aligned a number of kombuchas, the local drinks, on the floor of Parliament, 26 of them, and they were being suspected for not meeting quality and safety standards. Immediately after presenting those soft drinks, they were brought to UNBS laboratories. Our laboratories are internationally accredited. What we test at UNBS, when you take it to France, it will give you the same what? The same result. We tested those 26 products, kombuchas, very many with very innovative names, and over 95% of them passed for safety and quality standards. 2 of them that did not pass even one of them actually, the alcohol content, why it did not pass, the alcohol content was lower than it should have been. But because these local drinks are pushing back on the market share of the traditional breweries, I want to assure you that some of these issues are informed by what we call trade wars. So in the war of growing our economy, we must safeguard and protect our local products, especially when we are speaking on matters, quality and standards, because the tool that every country uses to block or protect their markets under the WTO, World Trade Organization requirements, can only be what we call technical barriers to trade and NTBs, non-tariff barriers. And those literally are mean standards. Ladies and gentlemen, that was a preamble to the statement about the adulterated cement. Let me now allow me make the statement, the official statement about the cement and the videos that have been making rounds on social media. Just 1 minute. So this statement is released by the management of Uganda National Bureau of Standards, and I will read it verbatim. And so Uganda National Bureau of Standards, UNBS, has taken note of the circulation of videos on social media alleging the rampant sale of underweight cement and wishes to clarify the matter as follows. That all the major cement manufacturers in Uganda, namely Tororo Cement, National Cement Company of Uganda Limited, under the brand name of Simba Cement, Hima Cement, UBIH Cement Uganda Limited, brand is Yaobai Cement, Old Continent Group Limited, and Metro Cement Limited are certified by the Uganda National Bureau of Standards and are regularly inspected. During these routine inspections and certification audits, UNBS inspectors picked samples of cement bags directly from the packaging points and storage areas of the factories to verify the exact weight to ensure value for money. And these samples are taken to UNBS internationally accredited laboratories to test and check for the quality and ensure strict compliance with the national standards. It should be noted that these inspections include notified and unannounced inspections to ensure consistent compliance by the manufacturers. This is in line with the Uganda National Bureau of Standards legal mandate of protecting the public against dangerous, harmful, and substandard products, whereby importation, manufacture, sale, distribution, and possession of any commodity that does not comply to compulsory Uganda standards is strictly prohibited. The recent factory inspection results confirm that all sampled cement bags from the above mentioned manufacturers comply with the quality requirements prescribed under the Weights and Measures Act of Uganda. These findings are consistent with previous assessments, which also demonstrated a track record of compliance by the manufacturers. UNBS also extends inspections beyond cement factories to hardware shops, warehouses, and other sales outlets. These market surveillance inspections show that the underweight cement cases identified by UNBS occur at some points of sale rather than at the manufacturer's facilities. We have identified a few underweight as I will highlight below, but they do not happen at the manufacturers, at our certified manufacturers' premises, or even at their authorized outlets. So our surveillance shows that during the financial year, last financial year, 25-26, UNBS seized more than 880 tons of substandard products worth about 3 billion Uganda shillings, and these included food products, cosmetics, construction materials, including cement, among others. The seizure of these dangerous substandard products saved the health and safety of thousands of consumers who have been badly affected and injured if they consumed or used these products. In the same period, our market surveillance team found 3 cement sales outlets in Mukono, Mbale, and Nakasongola selling bags of cement that were underweight. Investigations revealed that these hardware shops were receiving empty cement bags from construction sites. So at the construction site, they will open the cement bag neatly with an intention of going and wanting to rebag. So they would then siphon cement from the genuine bags, which weigh the right weight, rebag and reseal in the used bags acquired from the construction sites. These warehouses were sealed off and suspects were arrested and are being prosecuted for their illegal actions. UNBS therefore classifies that underweight cement is where underweight cement is discovered on the market. The issue is usually linked to unauthorized tampering, siphoning, or repackaging during transit, storage, or point of sale and handling, and not at the factory level and not by the complying certified manufacturers. As a result, UNBS intensified our market surveillance inspections as well as our prepackaged control monitoring in order to minimize and eventually eliminate the siphoning of cement from genuine right weight bags and rebagging it, which defrauding the unsuspecting buyers. Any person who sells underweight and or adulterated cement, thereby duping unsuspecting consumers and defrauding the public, commits a criminal offense and is liable to arrest and criminal prosecution. UNBS therefore urges all hardware shops, warehouses, to ensure that they sell cement and other products, cement, LPG gas, the nails, and other products of correct weight and measures, and always check that the cement delivered to their shops, stores, before selling is checked for the right measurements. In addition, all cement shops are required to have verified weighing scales to ensure that buyers confirm weight when they are buying. So I want to encourage, first of all, we will require that all outlets will have weighing scales. Not any weighing scales, but verified weighing scales, so that a kilo is a kilo. But also I want to encourage the consumers and the buyers to verify and demand for whatever they are buying to be verified, at least for for the weight. But also to encourage the buyers and the general public to look out for the Q mark, so that you ensure that whatever you're buying is fit for purpose, as highlighted on the labels usually. On the other hand, UNBS urges all cement buyers to remain vigilant, confirm that the seller has a verified weighing scale available, and verify the weight of each bag at the point of sale. UNBS further urges all the people and the construction site supervisors to ensure that all the empty bags are responsibly destroyed after use, and also call upon the manufacturers to recall their packages, their packaging material, to prevent reuse and adulteration. This is very important. There is something we need to start doing as a bureau, which is called extended producer responsibility. What does that mean? Extended producer responsibility is when you produce cement, you should actually also mind how the cement bag is going to be disposed of, number one, but also now it is showing that it is impacting your brands, because the adulterators are getting the empty bags and repackaging underweight what? Cement. So now it's high time the manufacturers also now put a framework in place to actually ensure that these bags are either bought from the market and not used for adulteration of your products. So finally, the cement buyers must pay close attention to product labels, batch numbers, manufacturing dates, because genuine cement bags must have these details clearly printed, and if they are missing or appear to be tampered with, the buyer is strongly advised to report to UNBS or nearest authorities. We need to have an empowered buyer, so that when you are buying a product, read the label. The label normally has what you should expect. If it's about the weight, verify or demand to have the weight verified. But beyond the weight, there is also information that you must know. The label has it. How to store it. Cement, when you store it badly, it will attract moisture and water, and before you know it, it will make what? Molds, and it will not perform. But not even just having a product that does not perform. The consumer should ensure that they understand what they are buying. In a bag of 50 kilograms of cement, there are different categories of what? Cement. There's what we call same 1, same 2, same 4. So I think the consumer should also try as much as possible to have technical competence or support, and also read the labels. Where you find any challenge and suspect adulteration, please, you're encouraged to report to our toll-free numbers, which I will read. And the toll-free numbers are 08001 33 133. I will repeat, 08001 33 133, or 0800 233 233. Ladies and gentlemen, that is our official statement as UNBS about the videos making rounds on social media and tarnishing the names of our certified manufacturers. I thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, Engineer. I suggest that you stay on the podium. We are having questions from colleagues in the media. Those who wish to ask questions, please come this side. To start us with is our Deputy Executive Director, Mr. Dennis Katonji.
Thank you. I wish to commend UNBS for the work you do. There's no doubt that you do great work. When you look at the statistics, like 880 tons of illicit stuff you've picked off the market, that's work. But what would you be asking government to do in support of your work? Do you have the capacity that you need? Because the work you do is not just for you. I think it's cross-cutting across government departments and agencies, and also the communities. And I remember like 2 years ago, while looking for properties, we came across a factory within an area where they've been doing packaging drinks. And when I inquired, they said it had been going on for like a year and a half. I reported it to UNBS, but what would you ask for communities to do and other government departments and agencies to do in support of your work? And if you are going to ask government for, say, 2 things, is it capacity? Is it because when you have picked 880 worth tons of illicit stuff, the question in my mind is, what have you not picked? Because there could be a lot more. So highlight those areas, please.
Thank you very much. Engineer, my name is Peter Wandeme. I work with Delta TV. Engineer, where do you end in doing your services? It's like, though you're concentrating a lot of perishable goods like foods, drinks and what, but it's like the tech world, you're not doing anything to this world. You wake up in the morning, you go to a shop, you buy a blender, the next morning it's broken, and then there's nowhere to complain. I remember I bought a phone recently. I had to leave it with the seller because it wasn't even functioning. In fact, I bought it on a very trusted site, which is Jumia. I bought a phone, it doesn't accommodate even apps, and when I went to complain, they couldn't solve, and then I had nowhere to run to. Is it like, are you only concentrating on kombucha and then ignoring the most expensive and important things so that we can find our way of fighting to resolve this problem? Or maybe, is there any problem which is not, you're not telling us, which is limiting your functionality? Thank you.
I think
Okay, thank you so much. I think he has good questions, but I believe cement is also something we need to address as a nation. So my colleagues here, I suggest, let us first save the country and stick on the subject matter. Thank you.
Idi, thank you. Manya nze Isa Kigongo. Amasonyi ngenda boza mu Uganda. Nze Isa Kigongo kola ne chano. Aliga zijja epapula ku sites we bazimba. Naye ng'ogyeko okukola emirimu gyo nga ggwe, ku lwaki toleka amakampuni aganokolwayo okubeera nga geerwanako gokka? Saagala kumentioninga amakampuni ebika bya sementi ebyanokoddwayo nga tawera, n'ebireke byerwaneko nga byo okusinga gwabirondoola. Kwakitegeeza bw'ovaayo birwanira, kitegeeza nti gwe bawadde ensimbi ogezaako okulwanira. Ensonga ey'okubiri, okwemulugunya tekuli ku ebiseera ebisinga ku mutindo, wabula beemulugunya ku bintu bitawera. Lwakuba nti Mwami Sserumaga atulimitinze, bw'ogenda ku bintu ebitawera, waliwo amakampuni agafulumya snacks, ebyokulya ebiriibwako, ekisingamu y'empewo. Ekisingamu y'empewo, kankupe Sams, genda okebere Sams, ekisingamu y'empewo okusinga obungi bw'ebintu obuteekeddwa okubeeramu. So, ng'ovudde ku mutindo, bannansi beemulugunya ku bungi bw'ebintu bye bateekeddwa okufuna oba byenkana. Ensimbi zaabwe zivaayo. Lema kulwanirira amakampuni, leka geerwaneko.
okay. Kansoke, because these are very important questions, and I would love that we understand each other and why we decided as UNBS to come out and speak and clarify some of these issues. Let me start with first of all, Mukulu Isa Kigongo agambye nti lwaki UNBS teleka amakampuni gano gakole ki gerwaneko. Actually, I am not here to speak for the individual companies. That is why, for example, what is on social media, I think affected one what? Company. And it's not even just cement, by the way. Previously, we were talking about underweight what? Sugar. Did you see it? We picked it off what? Including underweight bread and everything we normally that appears on social media, we quickly go into action and verify. Why do I verify as UNBS? Is to ensure that I protect our Q mark, our quality mark. As we build what we call the national quality culture, I want the consumer will not have x-rays in their eyes to see the microbial elements of the food. But UNBS, we are in the business of trust. That if we put a Q mark, then you, the buyer, you should buy what? Confidently. So why do we come out? And it's for majorly 2 or 3 major reasons. First of all, to protect the integrity of our quality what? Mark. That when we put a Q mark on a certified product, it is an assurance to the general public that that product is safe for use and it actually serves the purpose it intends. That's number one. Number two, ladies and gentlemen, let us remember that we are in an economic war. Trade is a war. We are competing for markets with every country. And if you remember in my statement, we are on a journey of economic growth. Previously, Uganda was not what? An export country. We are not producing. We didn't tetwali na makorelo nga gakora ebyobuguzi ebyokutwala ki ebweru. Today, we are attracting investments, encouraging you and me to make industries that produce quality goods. So when we produce, first of all, we will employ Ugandans and then export more and grow our economy. So if falsehoods go on a market, on a brand, it is not the individual brand that suffers. It will affect our exports. Currently in the region, we actually have a positive trade balance. We are exporting more of what we are producing locally. So if our markets like in South Sudan, DRC, hear that Ugandan cement is underweight, then cement from other countries will sell better, not only in our local market, but even in the what? In the export market. So, Mr. Issa, it is an economic war. We are trying to build industries, and then when those industries grow, they export more, they employ more. So that is why the Bureau, which is responsible for quality standards, must come out where need be to speak for what is quality and address the entire value chain, that as a country ultimately we will position and be trusted by the export markets, that whatever is produced in Uganda, be it cement, be it sugar, bread, is actually of good quality and meets the whatever. Then me and you, when we start industries, we will actually, our products in those export markets will be competitive. But if we do not speak, a genuine producer of products, or you and me, after these ties and these jobs we go to produce, our markets will still be branded by falsehoods. I'll tell you, international brands can sponsor a certain message for competition what? Purposes. So this is not about individual brands. We are trying to build a culture where the entire world knows that a UNBS, which is internationally accredited, by the way, we are members of the ISO. That's not just for just, is to make sure that we give confidence both to our local consumers and the international market that Uganda produces quality products. And that is how economies do what? Grow. we must protect our nascent industries to be competitive where it's needed. Snacks and all that. I'll tell you, you will not have a weighing scale in your hand. Okay? So these snacks, it might even be informed how hungry you are. But that air in it, part of it is to preserve the what? The content. They do not puff it up just to dupe you. They put a weight, either 20 grams. So the whole thing, and why we do it, our auditors and inspectors, it's called prepackage verification. Go to those SAMs and name them and verify that they are packaged over and above the air. The content is measured and it meets what is written on the label. In my statement, that's why I said, consumers, please read the label. Don't buy a big pack expecting a kilo when it is 10 grams. Okay? But if you verify and it is not, it's written on 25 grams and it is 10 grams, it is now our responsibility and responsibility of every Uganda to verify. We will now, our other effort is to empower all Ugandans. We are going to use technology now. You actually do what we call trace and track. You scan or key in a number and you get details about the product that you're going to consume. Quickly, Peter Delta TV. Are we only in food? Why not this happens? It is a journey. Currently, as we speak, we are responsible for the quality and standards of every product and every sector. Name it. But we are an agro-based economy, historically. But now we are changing into minerals, tourism, technology, science, and now we have built capacity at the Bureau to test beyond food stuff. We have been very lucky, and this speaks to the earlier question as well. As a Bureau, government has given us resources to build engineering laboratories. As we speak at the headquarters in Bweyogerere, we are completing a 4-level story building which will house our high-end engineering laboratories. But what are we doing even when we haven't built those laboratories that we are talking about? We have a scheme called pre-verification of conformity. Everything that is imported from wherever, be it China, US, Europe, and in the region, is subjected to testing by our contracted service providers. However, again, as you will never, crime is crime. Some people find their way of trying to beat the system, but as UNBs, we have put mechanisms in place, and we can only continue improving our performance. Our border points, we still have a challenge, and this speaks to the question Bwana Dennis Katunji asked about what we are doing, what government is doing, and what UNBS needs from government. First of all, I want to say government has been very deliberate last financial year and this financial year that our budgets were doubled. That is very good. That is how I can say we are building engineering labs at the headquarters. We are building labs. We are buying land and building labs in the traditional regional centers. In Mbarara, this year we are going to build labs. The full scope of our services is going to be extended to our regional offices of Mbarara, Gulu, and Mbale. And we are at the borders. We are trying really to make sure that our services extend to the grassroots. However, as I've said, our scope and need of requirements is so huge, we still are grossly underfunded. Talking about the substandard goods which are coming in, we are only manning, I think, about 34 border points out of 215 border points. So we still have a great need of resourcing from government to ensure that we can actually do our work in safeguarding and protecting Ugandans from substandard goods. We are making sure that there is fair trade, that chapati seller, when they buy 3 kilograms of engano and 5 liters of cooking oil, it is 3 kilograms and it is what? 5 liters. When they make chapati, they can actually calculate and make their what? Profit. When they make a profit, they will grow from a mudara to a kiosk, from a kiosk to a shop, and before you know it, they will actually be manufacturing cooking what? Cooking oil. But if you buy ingano that is written on 3 kilograms, and it is only 1.5 kilograms, and oil of 5 liters is only 3.5, you will only make what? Losses. That is why we are saying that UNBS is in the business of growing quality enterprises, and also calling upon everyone that issues of quality standards is business for all of us. I think that is for the 3 questions. We can have a few more, and then I have very competent engineers who will patch in what I haven't said to make sure that we all understand the critical role of UNBS. Actually, when talking about weights and measures, I want to make this important. We administer the Weights and Measures Act, but we have only, for the longest period, concentrated on only weights, the scales, and the meters of the fuel stations. But weights and measures include ensuring that all trade tools are calibrated and verified so that the user, the technocrat, is using reliable what? Measures. I'll give an example. We all go fall sick from time to time, and then we go to laboratories. They put you in an MRI machine, and it produces a what? A report. The doctor will use that report. But the question we should be asking, and UNBS is supposed to be verifying, is that equipment calibrated and verified so that when it produces a result, it does not create what we call false positives or false what? Negatives. You've had cases of misdiagnosis. People are told they have cancer when they don't have. So our work, and if we are supported, as Dennis says, it has a huge ripple effect on all sectors. We need to know that when we are supported, we will actually alleviate the pressure, the burden pressure on our health facilities. But quickly, let me receive some 2 other or so, and then I will invite my other colleagues to.
Thank you so much. The public address system person at Media Center doesn't favor some people. My name is Leonard Kamgisha Akida, a journalist from Parrots Media Online. Brana Idi, you talked about the trade wars,
Yeah.
but you are so skeptical, or maybe you know something that we don't know, but the world and Ugandans demand to know. When you talk of trade wars, who are involved in these wars? In your findings, in your investigations, especially using the recent examples that we have, the cement war, the cement incident that we have been having, who are involved in those wars according to your investigations? Then 2, when you look at the number of buildings that collapse every day here in Uganda, the engineers, the people who go there to assess, complain about the quality of materials that were used. we don't know whether UNBS you are overworked, maybe emirimo gibayitiriddeko tujje tubaweeyoko some voluntary efforts, I don't know. What is causing that? Are you overworked? Are you just sleeping and waiting for things to happen? And then lastly, talking about the verification of weighing scales. I want to draw to your attention an incident that happened in Kabira Town Council, Mitoma District, that is my home area. There is this trader called Agaba Research. Agaba Research, in September last year, a company called Precision Weighing Solutions Uganda Limited went there and they were doing verification of their weighing machines. But in less than 6 months, another company called Metric Plus Uganda Limited went there doing the same exercise, charging different fees. So I want to know, and I want you to clarify to the traders, do we say that there are people hiding under UNBS masqueraders doing your work? If they are there, what are you doing? Because these people are fighting, and it is happening even in these Kampala suburbs. People come saying we are from UNBS, they confiscate their weighing machines, they are paying differently. And then maybe to add on that, I'm a Catholic, so I eat some pork. The pork joints, the types of weighing machines they are using, they are not the weighing machines other traders are using. Do they meet the standards, those that use Mayinja? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Suna Bain and the company advocates. I believe that we are going off board. We are bringing out of issues. So I suggest we came for cement. I got Unbs. Seriously, let me give a chance to the New Vision report and then we conclude this. So, sir, I humbly request that don't know Poco joint, please don't respond. We shall handle that later. Let us stick on cement. Let us stick on cement.
Cement. So I wanted to seek the indulgence because it is also
much. My name is Aloysius Kasoma. I write for New Vision. I have only one question, sir. Going forward, Uganda is racing up to the 500 billion USD economy in the next few years.
Yeah.
And apparently, the industrialization sector is contributing around 27% to the GDP. However, personally, I'm a bit disappointed because what is happening, we're discussing right now, it has been happening even to other products. So I just want to understand, are you rethinking new enforcement measures to overcome this problem? Because it is happening even to other products. Thank you very much.
Thank you for that very important question. Aloysius, yes.
Eddie nze Charles Katamba nkola ne Good TV.
Charles.
Okusinziira ku katambi akogerwako bakavaako obuzibu buno bwonna kampuni ogyogeddeko nga ze zimu ku ze mwa verifyinga. Mu official statement yo mbadde nsuubiramu report okubanga mwababuuzizzaako nabbo ki kye barespondinze kubanga ensonga teri ku quality, ensonga eri ku weight. Sisuubira nti nno ba UNBS erina obusobozi obupima obukakasa nti nno buli kasawo akafulumyeyo kaweera kilo 5 ezoogerwako. Ekyokulala bw'oyogera nti nno okukuuma omutindo oba okufuna ekintu ekigwanidde buvunaanyizibwa bwa buli muntu, bwe ngenda zimba ennyumba nga ya bisenge bibiri mba sobola gattako kugula weighing machine eyo cost ebeera ndala kiba kitegeeza trust mangi tadde mu company gye nguzeemu cement ne UNBS.
Okay, very good.
You can respond to that.
Yes. Thank you very much. Let me start backwards. Charles Katamba. Echogamba, that is exactly what I was telling you. Oli eri customer bwagenda kugula. Trust abagitade. Actually, what we do as UNBS is we are in the business of selling trust to the customer. Okay? First of all, customer has to be empowered. Read the label. Okay? Know that there is a quality mark, meaning you're buying a product that has been what? Certified. Okay? Then, if you know it's a 50 kilogram what? Bag of what? Cement. Demand that you verify that weight. There is even some little more details to protect you for value for money, to ensure that you get value for money from what you buy, and what you buy is fit for what? For purpose. It doesn't even stop at buying. The label will even tell you how to store it. Okay? And cement, by the way, is so critical because construction materials, we term them as high risk what? Products. Like food. Those are high risk products, so I want to encourage all Ugandans to be very vigilant, read labels, ensure there is a quality mark, to first of all, to know that what you're buying has been certified, and therefore verify the weight before you carry it home. When you carry it home, read the label, know how to handle it. Now, does UNBS have the capacity to verify weights? The answer is absolutely yes. And because we have the capacity and it is our mandate, that is what Kamjisha was talking about, of again some people going out and masquerading as what? UNBS staff, that they are verifying what? Weights. UNBS laboratories are not organized globally. We are members of the International Organization for Standards, members of International Electrotechnical Commission. We are members of the people who verify the global. So we have the mandate and the ability to verify and calibrate all measuring what? Equipment, not just weight, volume, length, and if we had time, I could show you how that actually translates in industries and economic performance. Now, that is to Charles Katamba. Then Arugius from New Vision. He asked a very important and strategic what? Question. In our journey to $500 billion economy, industry is contributing about 26-27%. There's even something else I wanted to add on that. You find that about 70-80% of our people are employed in what? In agriculture and what we call primary what? Industries. We need to rally all Ugandans, educated and non-educated. We all have skills that we can translate into industries. What we do in our communities can actually be translated into what we call cottage or micro and small what? Enterprises. Now, UNBS, we have transformed ourselves, or we are on a transformation journey from policing standards, stopping people from producing and bringing things or substandard goods on the market. But now we are trying to handhold and support enterprises so that we make industries around our natural resources and produce products for exports and change the narrative. And we try to make 70% of our population to be employed in industries so that we can export more, do import substitution, and industrialize so that we meet the $500 billion economy even shorter. And if you talk about cement, we have most of the raw materials that produce what? Cement, and so much of it. So we can actually, if we do not demonize our local brands and we make correct measurements of cement, meeting international standards, then we have an opportunity in what we call the African continental free trade area. All these brands I highlighted above can export beyond the borders, and Uganda will meet the $500 billion economy faster than even what? Projected. But if we begin speaking ill about the quality standards of our products, that is a message to our potential what? Markets. And that is why I actually call upon the media to come and we work together and promote the good that we are producing and working towards. I think the pork issue, I think I will request this, that is in your space from the area. There are many UNBS, can I call buffet? They go around winding up people. That is a culture that we have stopped. Now, UNBS, we are saying we handhold enterprises. We want the small shop to grow to a supermarket, move from a supermarket, go and make industries of what they are selling, and that is how we will do what? So we are saying we are in the business of handholding. When we find you genuinely struggling to produce a product, we will handhold you and guide you on how to do it. We no longer just close. But if we find a mufere again adulterating cement, we will also use. So we are balancing a stick and what? Carrot. We want everyone, every enterprise, we want to be a go-to agents of government for enterprises. Lastly is trade wars. No, the issue of that, are we overworked? Are we sleeping? Not at all. As we highlighted for cement, we can assure you that all the certified cement manufacturers in Uganda produce cement that is of the right quality and weight. Now the question is, the value chain and supply chains of products, particularly cement, are very long. By the time I saw that video, first of all, it looked like it was being acted in a site. So clearly you can say the cement, by the time it moves from the manufacturer to the transporter, they take it to the authorized dealers, from the authorized dealers to the, what are they called? The hardware shops. Then the supply chain is what? So long. So that lengthy supply chain is abused, especially for high value what? Products. So this is what we are calling upon everyone. It will never be, UNBS will never have enough men and women to do this job. The solution and the approach we are now encouraging and taking on is saying that we grow what we call the national quality culture. And Media Center, thank you very much. You've pledged support. I want to call upon all the media houses that we come and actually grow this economy together. We grow the industries so that we can export more and substitute the what? The imports. Trade wars and who are involved. Now, there is a saying in the trade environment that he who owns the standard owns the market. So when we are in this fora of making standards for products, every country wants the standard to speak to what they are producing. If we are producing cement, we will require that the standards in the African continent market speak to that. Now they are going down. The big multinationals normally are on those standards development tables. But the micro and small enterprises are not on those tables. Now when we define a Uganda standard, it would have been defined by the multinationals. Remember, when we require that these MSMEs meet the standard that was developed by multinationals, they might not have capacity to do what? To meet that standard. Hence, blocked out of market access and or they cannot comply. If they are to comply, it will be too expensive for them. So that is what I termed as trade being a war and standards being the tool. The big economies, the multinationals, the big companies, making it hard for the startups, the cottage industry, the MSMEs to meet the standards of the different products. Now, this is where we are saying as UNBS, we have realigned ourselves to support MSMEs to meet the standards that the market demands. And that's what we are saying. For the next 5 years, UNBS is in the business of growing quality enterprises. Ladies and gentlemen, we are available here one-on-one. We can add on. Let me take the opportunity once again to thank you, to thank all of you for the very good questions and taking time off to come and we share about this important matter, making rounds. Today it is cement, tomorrow it is going to be another product, but remember the fight against quality and substandard goods is not only for UNBS, it is for all of us Ugandans, state and non-state actors. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Okay, thank you very much.
Olwaleero aba Uganda National Bureau of Standards nga tukulembeddwamu Ssenkulu w'ekitongole Engineer James Kasigwa, tubadde wano ku Uganda Media Center nga tutangaza eggwanga ku nsonga y'omutindo gwa cement. Bangi ku ffe twalaba obutambi obwayitingana ku mikutu egigatta abantu. Obutambi obwo nga bwolesa nti waaliwo engeri cementi aba atundibwa katale ka Uganda abadde nga tawera. Y'ensonga lwaki UNBS evuddeyo olwaleero okunnyonnyola eggwanga embeera y'omutindo gwa cementi. Okusookera ddala, Uganda National Bureau of Standards eyagala okakasa bannayuganda nti twakakasa amakolero gawerera ddala 6 nga amakolero gano gakola ebinungo bya cementi bya miwendo 26 nga bitukkagana n'omutindo. Kaakati ekisookera ddala ng'ogenda kugula cementi, UNBS erabula nti wandisaanidde ogule cement akoleddwa ebyo ebitongole oba amakolero UNBS geerambusiza olunaku lwaleero agakakasibwa nti bye gakola bitukana n'omutindo. Ekyokubiri, UNBS etangaza nti siminti wamala okukolebwa atambula, bamutambuza ab'ebimotoka naye ate n'ab'ebiduuka aba hardware abatunda siminti ono. Kaakati okulondoola kwa UNBS kwekoze ng'obwo obutambi tebunatandika era n'okulondoola kwe twakoze ng'obutambi bumaze okuyitangana, tukakasizza ddala nti mu kkolero siminti ono avaayo ng'awera. Abakugu baffe bazzeemu okukinoonyereza ne bakisanga nti kwezo kampuni ze tulambusiza olunaku olwaleero zifulumya siminti obusawo nga buwera. Naye obuzibu bwe tusanze okusiigana nnyo tubadde mu katale ewali abatambuza siminti, awali abakola mu mahardware. Kati ng'obuzibu bwe tusanze okusanga nti abantu bwe bagula siminti ono n'atuuka ku biduuka, ab'ebiduuka abamu benyigira mu kujingirira siminti. N'abamu abatambuza siminti eno ku site, ku construction sites eziri wonna we tuzimbira, abazimbi n'abazimbisa, oluusi baggulawo obusawo buno ne benyigira mu kuteeka ebirungo ebirala ebitali siminti mu siminti, oba ne kimu okuwewula obungi bwa siminti ono. Era we twogerera UNBS erina emisango ziwerera ddala 6 nga tubadde tunoonyereza mu Uganda. Twali e Mbale, twali e Mukono, twali e Nakasongola, twali e Luweero ne wano mu Kampala. Ng'ekyamazima bano be twakwata tukyawemegana nabo mu kkooti. Ng'obuzibu twabasanga bajingirira. Baggulawo obusawo ate ne bayongeramu ebintu ebirala ate oluusi ne bakendeeza obungi bwa siminti. Ekyokubiri, UNBS ezeemu okusaba bannayuganda bonna okukolera wamu naffe okulwanisa omuze guno ogutali mulungi. Okusookera ddala gwe ng'ogenda kugula siminti, kakakasiza ddala nti ogula siminti okuva ku maduuka agalambikiddwa obulungi nga geetongodde, era oba olina obuzibu bwonna osobola okuddayo n'obasisinkana. N'ekirala, UNBS esabye bonna abenyigira mu kutunda siminti, amaduuka gonna ne hardware okubeera ne minzaani epima. Kati gwe ng'ogenda kugula siminti, twala obudde opime siminti w'oyo nga tonaba mujja ku hardware oba ku dduuka. Awo otegeerera nti tatuuka oba atuuka. Era singa oba okirabye, lopera UNBS ku namba yaffe eyo etali yakusasulira 0800 133 133. Enamba eyo oba otuukirira ddala buterevu UNBS ne tukuyamba. N'ekirala, tusabye abazimbi n'abantu abali mu bizinesi ez'okuzimba okufaayo ennyo okujjumbira okumanya siminti omuntu gw'okwasiza sayiti amugyeewa, era waba amugyeewa amukuumya atya, era waba amukuumya atya olunaku oba owiiki, bakozeseza obusawo bumeka, bagyeemu bimeka, era baterese bimeka, kubanga ebiseera ebisinga buli we tutambuza ennyo obusawo obuvaamu ebipapula, obusawo obuvaamu siminti, abantu abaggala okwekolera abalina emize emibi bagira obusawo obwo ne bajjuzaamu oba ne bassaamu ebintu ebirala. Ate n'ekirala, bannayuganda, UNBS eyongola obbakoowoola okukolagana naffe nga tuloopa. Gwe w'osanga oba wadduuka ng'ajingirira, tuukirira UNBS. Ne w'osanga nga waliwo kampuni yonna ekola simenti nga taliiko kabonero ka UNBS, ekitegeeza oyo siminti tomugula. Olwaleero tulambikidde bulungi abo be twakakasa, amannya tugabawadde ne brands ze bakola tuzibawadde. Singa osisinkana oli nga tali ku lisiti yaffe gye tufulumizza era nga ne ku mutimbagano gwaffe taliiko, tutuukirire otutegeeze. N'ekirala kye twongeddeko essira y'enkyusa mu buweereza bwaffe okusingira ddala nti UNBS etesse nnyo essira ku kutumbula amakolero agaffe agawana e Uganda ate agakolebwa abantu baffe abawansi, amakolero amatonotono agatandika obutandisi. UNBS yateekawo enkola ey'okulera n'okubangula abo bonna abali mu bizinesi naye nga si banene, tukkiriza nti bajja kukula era we tuli. Bw'oba olina obuzibu bwonna ku mutindo oba okumanya osobola okufuna akabonero ka UNBS ak'omutindo, tutuukirire. Tujja kubangula, tujja kusomesa oyige okuteeka ebyamaguzi ebituukana n'omutindo ku katale.